Hello again, Josh here from the Weekend Handyman. This will be part 3 of this lawn tractor cart build. What I'm doing now is I have the lines marked for where I want to chop these corners off, and so that's what I'm going to be doing first. Like I said last time, I don't really need to do that. I just think it'll look better than having it squared off like that. So let's dive right in. Much better look, in my opinion, than having it all squared off. Alright, so as you can see, I now have the wheels mounted on the axle up on the bench here. Last time when I had mounted cut the axle to size, I had also drilled a hole in there so I could put a clip through there and then have a washer there. What I have to do is weld the washer on the inside, however, so the wheel doesn't want to walk in. The clip in the washer will keep it from wanting to walk out. But, so I have it all here mocked up so I can mark where the washer has to go, then I'll put some welds around the side like I had done for the axle, and then do the same thing on the other side. This side didn't stick the first time, so I'll have to go for it again. Alright, so I have a good tack on both sides on that washer. Next I'm going to take the wheels back off of it and do some more complete welds around where the washer meets the axle so it doesn't break off. Catch again. Next. Alright, so bear with me while I try to explain what I'm going to do. Normally a lawn tractor cart just has a tongue that'll come in. It has an extra tab that comes up, and it would go through this hole that's already there. What I'm going to do is build a more off-road, high articulation trail hitch design. I have no need to. The person who owns this probably doesn't need to, but I've had this idea kick around my head for it, so I figured I'd give it a shot on this. It is sort of a proven design because I've seen different versions on different forums and stuff like that. What I want to see if I could build one myself. So what I'm starting with is just my inch by inch and a half by inch and a half, 8 inch thick square stock. that I'm going to mount with a bolt that I'm going to weld inside of it, and then put a washer down through the hole, washer on the bottom, and then I'm going to put another nut and bolt it up on the bottom. Now, to keep the bolt from loosening off all the way, I have already drilled a hole in the threads of the bolt so I can put a pin through it so the nut doesn't back all the way off. So then this will be mounted here, and I'll have a cap with the bolt sticking out, which I'll then have a squared off piece of semi-box that is essentially this shape, but 1.5 inches here, 1.5 inches high, that will be able to turn this way, if you can imagine that, turn this way, which will then have another 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches square stock that'll have another one of those wing designs that'll couple in the middle here, so it can turn all the way this way and turn up down like this way, and then this will be able to turn like that. Now, if you're able to follow that, congratulations. If not, stick around and I'll show you what it's going to look like in the end. Alright, step number 1 is accomplished. I have the bolt welded in there, so now it's essentially a stud. I can take washers, put it down through the hole, washer on the bottom, and I can screw the nut in on the bottom. And then I'll have a pin that I can put through so the nut doesn't come out. And the entire purpose of this is just so this can then pivot like that. Next, I'm going to take a piece of 1/8 inch thick flat iron capped bottom, but before that I'll make sure to weld another nut, or another bolt rather, through here, turn it into a stud. Alright, next phase has been achieved. I have welded a bolt inside of a plate to make it into a stud, and then took the entire plate and welded it to the end of this 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch thick square stock. Next thing I need to do is cut another piece of flat iron to go mount against this, which will have a washer, and then a flat piece will mount there, and then I'll put a nut on there and probably weld the nut in place so it can't back off, and that'll allow that plate to turn like this. See you then. So here is how I'm going to make sure my pieces stay lined up at 90 degrees like they're supposed to. This is the part that's going to be mounted in the trailer. I have the washer in there, which I guess I don't necessarily need to right now, but it's there. And then I have a spare piece of 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch square stock, and I have cut this part to 1.75 inches so that the two side pieces mount up perfectly against the edge of it here. So to keep it lined up, I have put a C-clamp around another piece of 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch so that it all stays nice and square. And then I'm going to go ahead and tack here and tack it here, and then run a full weld on it while it's attached to my jig, we'll call it. So here's how it turned out. Turned out pretty good. I flipped it around and put a couple spot welds on the inside as well, clean them up a little bit, but it's a little bit tight. It tightened up a little bit when I put the spot welds on the inside, but I can make it work. Next thing I have to do is repeat this for a coupler to go inside of here, and then drill a hole through the side so it allows it to tilt like this. And of course, for perspective, here's how it'll work on the tractor. Washer, stud, another washer, nut in the bottom, and this will come in this way with a nut on it, like so. So it'll allow it to turn like so, like that, and then I'll have another coupler that will go on the inside here that'll allow the tongue to go up and down this way, giving it free reign of motion. See you then. Alright, quick demonstration of how this works. This hitch part is mounted to the tractor. It's bolted on just loosely for now. As you can see, it moves. So this is the part that twists this way back and forth, allowing full movement this way. And then I have also made this piece, which then slips into here and then allows up and full, or almost full up and down movement this way. I have a pin. The pin just goes across, and this would be the quick release part for when you want to disconnect the trailer and whatnot. You could alternatively, I guess, undo the pole here, but I figured the pin would be sufficient. So the pin comes in, clip it in place, and then you have full movement this way, have full movement this way, and then you have full movement this way. Now, of course, the rest of the tongue would be attached here, which I'll have to weld on, so you can see just how much movement is allowed with this tongue design that I have. And since it's just for a long tractor cart, this, 1/8 inch thick, and the size bolts and stuff that I have here should hold up just fine. So that's how that works. Now, this design is easily scalable if you had a full-size rig and you wanted an off-road camper or some kind of off-road trailer. This is how I did it. You can go ahead and look at forums and pictures of other people who have done this for Jeeps and stuff like that. But this is a small compact design for a lawn tractor trailer. I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera now. The only thing left to do is take the rest of my tongue, weld it on here, and then clean up the welds on the edges so I don't, prohibit any movement this way. And then I have to go ahead and then weld the tongue to the rest of the trailer. Put it all together, clean it up, and we're good to go, actually. If you're wondering how I made the coupler part that goes to the tongue to fit inside of the coupler part that goes to the trailer, since the space for that to go over is actually just 1.5 and 1.5, I just took a 1.5 inch square stock, sliced the corner off, and then just cut the top part off of it, and then just turned it upright, and then rounded the edges, and it fits right in there, no problem. So that just about does it for this part of the lawn tractor trailer build. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check us out on Facebook. The link will be in the description. Come back next time, the cart will be finished, and I'll do some finishing touches on the lawnmower. Have a nice day.